Picture this, you're just a small kid, maybe 2 to 3, let's say. Usually your babysitter is right there with you, taking care of you, so you don't stay alone. And you can't cook or anything. You can barely walk. And after your babysitter leaves the house because your father came home early, you just play with a few toys you know how to play, and you start getting hungry. You're just a little kid. You don't know how to cook. You can't even grab things because you don't know where they are. So you're about to go tell your dad that you're a bit hungry. But then you remember your mom telling you that he was on the phone that day. His friends called him. You remember what they said in the thing? All they said was, "Come over. There's alcohol and drugs here." He leaves the house without telling you anything. And you're just in the bed. You start getting hungry. You start crying for help because you're hungry. You don't know how to do anything. So you cry for an hour or two. You start going to sleep. When you wake up, your mom's holding you, and she gives you some food. You feel comforted. Later in your life, you find out that the reason he left wasn't because of any important meeting. It was like I said earlier, because there was a party and he was promised alcohol and drugs. Alcohol changed my dad a lot. My dad, as my mom described him, he was a calm person. He was a nice person. But when he was drunk, he would become very violent, very, very violent. He would hurt her mentally and physically. My mom still has scars to this day of what he left her. And for those people that say, "Oh, he can just simply not," my mom can just dump him. But then she tells me that whenever she tried to, he would threaten to kill himself right on the spot. He would grab whatever sharp object and threaten to kill himself. My mom lived with that for sometime like 6 months, and then once he finally said, "You know what, just do it. I'm tired of you abusing me, hitting me every day." But then he, instead of putting it at his neck, he puts it close to my mother's neck and said, "If you break up with me, I'll kill you." When he was drunk, that's just what happened. And even when he wasn't, because he knew the evidence was there, he couldn't risk it. But once he finally got caught hitting my mom, someone in the street found him. And he gets sent back. Finally, your mom's free. You're free. For a good 6 months, you're with your mom alone. But you're happy. But then after the 6 months, you get a new stepfather. You don't know him that much. But you at least know him. You're 4 at this time. So you spend a good amount of time with him, but once you stop hitting your mother, because my mom snapped at him and told him, "If you hit me one more time, I will call the police on you." But he needs to let his anger out on someone. He can't do it on her because he knows something will happen to him. But then he looks behind her and he sees there's a little boy who can't do anything to stop him. So for the past 12 years, I've lived with a father that's very abusive. He would hit me, he would scream at me for no reason, and he mentally hurt me. He would call me useless, good for nothing, so many things. And it's only, when he's normal, he doesn't disturb you. He's actually sometimes nice with you. He's a good father at heart. But when he's drunk, you can't do anything about it. He just hits you. You can't do anything. Alcohol causes so many problems in people's lives. It's the third leading cause of fatal car crashes, just behind being distracted while driving and speeding. And people say, "Oh, it's just the third biggest." But then you say the last word, biggest. And you see the numbers of how many car crashes there are fatal car crashes and start saying it is bad. Alcohol causes many problems, and 28 million people suffer from this. More specifically, 28 million children suffer from this. And I'm one of them.